Good morning, dear students. Let's move on to part 3 of carbohydrate metabolism. In part 1 and 2 of carbohydrate metabolism, we have discussed about glucose oxidation, a complete oxidation pathway of glycolysis and TCA cycle. So, from which glucose generates energy. Let's move on to an alternative pathway for oxidation of glucose, but through this pathway we will not gain any energy, or no energy is released from the pathway what we are going to discuss today. Hence, the contents of today's discussion are HMP shunt and its significance, glucose 6-phosphate dehydrogenase deficiency, G6PD deficiency. G6PD is a enzyme involved in HMP shunt pathway. What is HMP shunt? Hexose monophosphate shunt. It is otherwise called as hexose monophosphate shunt. Other name of the pathway is called as triple P shunt. So what is triple P represents? Pentose phosphate pathway. Pentose phosphate pathway. So HMP shunt may either called as HMP shunt pathway or triple P pathway. Triple P is nothing but pentose phosphate pathway, where HMP is nothing but hexose monophosphate shunt pathway. Let's move on to the location of the pathway of HMP shunt. The enzymes are located in the cytosol. Cytosol is nothing but cytoplasm. So enzymes required for leading HMP shunt pathway are located in the cytosol. So HMP shunt pathway takes place in cytosol of the cell. What is other name for HMP shunt? Triple P pathway. It is pentose phosphate pathway. And what are the tissues we can find HMP shunt pathway? The tissues such as liver, adipose tissue, adrenal gland, erythrocytes, testes and lactating mammary gland are highly active in HMP shunt. Most of these tissues are involved in biosynthesis of fatty acids and steroids. The above mentioned tissues are involved in biosynthesis of fatty acids and steroids, which are dependent on the supply of NADPH. NADPH is nothing but a coenzyme, nicotinamide adenine dinucleotide phosphate. That is NADPH. And this coenzyme is supplied by HMP shunt pathway, and which is required for the biosynthesis of fatty acids and steroids in the mentioned tissues like liver, adipose tissue, adrenal gland, erythrocytes, testes and lactating mammary glands. Let's move on to HMP shunt pathway. It comprises of simply concised form. I will explain here. There is a conversion of 6-carbon sugar moiety to 5-carbon sugar moiety. From 5-carbon again 6-carbon moiety is formed. So end product and starting material are same here. So what is the starting material and end product? Glucose 6-phosphate. If glucose 6-phosphate dehydrogenase enzyme is present, then only the HMP shunt pathway is leaded. And that enzyme uses coenzyme NADP. And it releases by means of oxidation of the enzyme to NADPH. And release of NADPH has more significance in the living cell. And formation of 5-carbon sugar moieties are also having more significance in the living cell. Let's discuss their significance part in the coming slides. So what are the compounds and intermediates are formed? Starting material for the HMP shunt pathway is glucose 6-phosphate. Intermediates are 5-carbon moieties like mainly ribose 5-phosphate and other moieties, other 5-carbon derivatives. Then end product also glucose 6-phosphate. Understood? And the pathway has two phases, oxidative phase and non-oxidative phase, where glucose 6-phosphate to ribose 5-phosphate is oxidative phase, then ribose 5-phosphate to glucose 6-phosphate is non-oxidative phase. Let's see about oxidative phase of HMP shunt pathway. We know that it has two phases, oxidative and non-oxidative phases. In oxidative phase, glucose 6-phosphate is converted to ribose 5-phosphate, where 6-carbon moiety is converted to 5-carbon moiety. It involves two stages where NADPH formation occurs from the oxidative enzymes. What are the two enzymes involved in the release of NADPH? Means glucose 6-phosphate dehydrogenase and 6-phosphogluconate dehydrogenase. And the release of NADPH in oxidative phase has major role in the synthesis of other fatty acids, steroids, etc. And even it involves in the free radical scavenging process. And the formation of ribose 5-phosphate also has significance in many aspects. Let's discuss about ribose 5-phosphate in the coming slides. Coming to non-oxidative phase of a HMP shunt pathway, where ribose 5-phosphate is converted to cellulose 5-phosphate, and both the compounds 5-carbon and 5-carbon, totally 10-carbon, are converted to 7-carbon and 3-carbon moieties, and this 7 and 3-carbon moieties are converted again to 6 and 4-carbon moieties. The 6-carbon moiety formed as fructose 6-phosphate. It can be converted to glucose 6-phosphate. So the end product of HMP shunt pathway is glucose 6-phosphate. What is the starting product? Also same. So that the pathway is called as HMP shunt pathway. Even oxidation of glucose occurs, again glucose 6-phosphate is reformed. So it is called as without releasing any energy. But the significance is it is releasing NADPH and producing pentose phosphates. Pentose phosphates are here ribose, mainly ribose 5-phosphate, and other pentose are cellulose and ribulose 5-phosphates. 5-carbon moieties are called as pentose sugar, mainly D-ribose. And this pentose phosphate and NADPH produced from HMP shunt pathway has main significance in the body, in the cell, living cell. That's why the pathway has more significance and more important to study. So let's move on to significance of HMP shunt pathway. So HMP shunt is unique in generating two important products. They are pentoses and NADPH. What is the importance of pentose? In HMP shunt, hexoses are converted into pentoses, the most important being ribose 5-phosphate. This pentose or its derivatives are useful for the synthesis of nucleic acids, DNA and RNA, and many nucleotides such as ATP, NAD+, FAD and CoA enzymes. So pentose has most useful significance of synthesizing nucleic acids and nucleotides. Nucleotides are coenzymes, ATP, NAD, FAD, CoA and all coenzymes, where DNA and RNA are nucleic acids, plays major role in the living cell. And next, coming to the importance of NADPH, it is required for the biosynthesis of fatty acids and steroids, and also used in the synthesis of certain amino acids involving the enzyme glutamate dehydrogenase. And it is involved in the reaction of free radical scavenging process. Then the free radicals like superoxide, hydrogen peroxide are continuously produced in all cells, and it is controlled by formation of NADPH. Coming to glucose 6-phosphate dehydrogenase deficiency, let's see the role of NADPH in glucose 6-phosphate dehydrogenase deficiency. Observe the reaction where glucose 6-phosphate dehydrogenase is involved in the conversion of glucose 6-phosphate to 6-phosphoglucanolactone. So this enzyme uses which type of coenzyme? NADPH. That means NADP plus is reduced to NADPH when glucose 6-phosphate dehydrogenase is present. If it is absent or deficiency occurs with the enzyme, so formation of NADPH is reduced. Thereby, if it is reduced form of glutathione will not be existing. It will be converted to oxidized form of glutathione by means of glutathione peroxidase. And this peroxidase increases reactive oxygen species in the cell. So it causes oxidative damage. Hence, glucose 6-phosphate dehydrogenase enzyme is necessary for the living cells to produce NADPH to maintain the normal oxidation level, or otherwise it will be giving abnormal cell growth, like oxidative damage occurs to the cells, or formation of reactive oxygen species. More number of oxygen species will be formed in the body due to NADP plus content increase. Let's see what are the causes of G6PD deficiency. Due to the formation of reactive oxygen species in developing brain and aging brain, altered signal transduction occurs. Altered signal transduction occurs in the brain, and increased oxidative damage occurs to the cell, which leads to neurodevelopmental disorders and neurodegeneration. What is the major cause of G6PD deficiency? Neurodevelopmental disorders and neurodegeneration due to altered signal transduction and increased oxidative damage. Hope you have understood how increased oxidation occurs because of deficiency of G6PD, so that deficiency of NADPH formation, and which leads increase in NADP plus in the oxidized condition, and which leads glutathione peroxidase, and it is increasing hydrogen peroxide, thereby reactive oxygen species, so that neurodevelopmental disorders and neurodegeneration are developed in the cell. Coming to the symptoms of G6PD deficiency, it causes jaundice, and it is indicated by dark colored urine and rapid heartbeat and enlarged spleen, that is named as splenomegaly. So these are the 4 important symptoms of G6PD deficiency: jaundice, dark colored urine, rapid heartbeat, then enlarged spleen. So with this, we are coming to the end of discussion on HMP shunt pathway and its significance. Hope you all have understood. Go through, write in your notebook all the steps with the chemical structure of each biomolecule and learn properly. Thank you so much for patiently listening. In the next class, I will come with another pathway and its significance. Thank you all.